This is not your typical ownage video. This isn't, there's not going to be any zing, it's not going to be like that. I have a letter here that was written to me by an orphan girl who I've known for quite some time, who's a good friend of mine, but she wrote me this letter after I made that video response to Grounded for Life 27. And look, I don't want to sit here all day introducing it. I'm just going to read the fucking letter because I think it's important. Man, I am so glad you did that video. I mean, okay, take Jacob, this 4-year-old I knew. He was with a foster mom who was an RN because he was a drug baby born to an AIDS mom. He was HIV positive from her. He was a sweetheart and called me his girlfriend, such a lady killer. He was all about hugs and acting goofy and being swung around, but he had a shitty life. Anyway, he developed a really bad cancer and died at 4. Painful fucking death. The morphine probably actually stopped his heart. That's what happens when terminal people are in that much pain. Sometimes the drugs take them, and that's good. But anyway, he asked me why Jesus would let him get sick. Hell, I didn't know what to say. All I could think of was a Christmas tree. He loved Christmas trees. So I said he was like that, only on earth for a short time, but so beautiful and bright. His pain was his beauty and his brightness. It made people think how lucky they were that their kids weren't sick, and maybe after a hard day at work they would go home and hug and play with him, instead of doing drugs like his mom did. He understood me totally. I said Jesus only gives these jobs to very special people, and he was so happy, TJ. He was happy he was going to see his mommy. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, he was happy and he died happy. But he should have been aborted. No kid should have to suffer through 4 years of being an orphan and then dying a painful death. It just ain't right. Have you ever read the Cider House Rules? John Irving. You either have an abortion or an orphan. I think every Christian should read that book like the Bible. They still wouldn't get it anyways. And nobody loves babies more than me. But they shouldn't have to suffer. They are better off not being born. These Christians that protest this have never had an ounce of pain in their lives like these kids. They just don't get it. I'm glad you made that video. I'm not an overly emotional person. I mean, if you tell me just off the bat, hey, some 4-year-old died, I don't really give a shit. I honestly don't, because how can I possibly care about every 4-year-old that dies? How many 4-year-olds must die on this planet every day? But what does bother me is injustice. And what does bother me is seeing evil carried out in the name of good. These people who think they're promoting life when all they're really promoting is human suffering. The pro-lifers are, in my opinion, the morally inferior parties in this argument. And it's stories like this that make me think so.